Alright, this is Jeremy versus skateboard, take one. Okay, so this is a good time to introduce the video and tell you a little bit about what my methodology is here. I'm going to take a four-pronged approach. It's going to include discipline or correction of any unwanted behavior, and then I'll follow that up with affection, and then exercise, and then the last part of the video is a reward section. So what you saw initially starting off was Jeremy kind of lunged out at the skateboard. He's been known to have some aggression and fear of skateboards, bicycles, and scooters. So I reached out and corrected him as soon as he lunged out at me. So what you're seeing here is a follow-up. So after the correction, I want to change his association with the skateboard from one of fear or aggression, or one that brings out fear and aggression, to one that sort of incorporates a calming, soothing, or affectionate kind of association. So I'm using the skateboard to pet him and caress him so that he sort of loses that aggressive spirit towards the skateboard, the noise that it makes and stuff like that. So what you'll see here now is exercise. So we've just done discipline, we've done some affection, and now exercise. So I want him to associate the skateboard again with something positive, something that he loves, which is exercise. So the skateboard doesn't mean go and attack whoever's riding on it. It means if you're invited, that you can run alongside and have some fun. So I'll repeat that same sort of pattern with the bicycle here right now. Again, discipline, as he sort of showed interest. Now, it wasn't really aggression, but again, he made a forward motion toward it, and it wasn't invited. So a gesture with the hand to indicate that I want that space, and a meaningful noise there also to bring his attention to it, and he's been very respectful of the space that I was asking for when I went by on the bike, and in essence become desensitized, at least in this session, to both the skateboard and the bicycle. So discipline, now we're repeating again, same as we did with the skateboard, with some exercise. So again, he runs alongside, nothing to be afraid of, nothing to run towards or be aggressive about. It's something that you run alongside of when you're invited, and nothing but pleasure there. Maybe a little bit of anxiety because it's something new. He's not running right alongside, he's kind of keeping his distance, but he's not protesting, and he's not barking or being aggressive. He's being very compliant. Ginger, of course, is over on the left-hand side of the screen up on my front porch, protesting that she's not involved in this. So exercise out of the way, and now I'm going to use the bike as sort of something for him to just stay close to. The tail is wagging, not showing too much interest, or enthusiasm, I should say. Interest, but not out of control. Of course, it's stationary and it's not making any noise, so that's probably to be expected. So now I'm actually going to use the bike to physically get him close to it or touching it, and then he'll either get affection from me or from the bike itself. So what you'll see here, after I sort of kind of desensitize him to the noises of the bike and bouncing around and stuff like that, I'll use the tire of the bike to sort of rub up against his chest, and I think I even at one point tried to get it up on top of him to do, but not too successful, and I don't blame him for having such a big object being held up above him.
Sit. Jeremy, sit. Down. Sit. Come here. Sit down. Sit. Sit. Jeremy, sit.
So what I want to kind of do here is I'm trying to get him really close to the bike, almost like my objective. I'm trying to get him to stick his head through there. And in there I'm kind of trying to pin him. I was trying to straddle him so that he couldn't move away. Fear response is fight or flight. He obviously is not going to try to fight the bike. He's going to try to flight or run away. And I'm trying to get him to stop that. And here we go. I'm sort of successful in getting him to stay there, surrender to me and trust me, and then allow the bike to just like really almost have a go at him, and you know, pet him. His tail is wagging. It's not down, you know, down between his legs. He's not too fearful or anything like that. He's no longer trying to escape, so that's good. So I think after this, I almost try to get the bike to envelop him, almost hug him, so I kind of get him, the bike handlebars and the frame of the bike to sort of cradle him and stay stationary in there without any fear that anything negative is going to happen as a result of being this close or trapped by the bicycle. So here I'm leaning it down. I've got a nice view of my backside, which I have become conscious of and decide to kind of adjust. So here we go. We'll get the leash through there so it's easier to manage. Get him to come closer and sit, and then you'll see here he complies really, really nicely with the bike coming down, and the handlebar is sort of touching his waist there. Another part of the bike is touching him, and you'll see here he'll actually rest his chin up over the bar of the bike, and he is comfortable. Not bad. So if you ever watch The Dog Whisperer on National Geographic channel, you'll hear him constantly tout the merits of exercise, discipline, and affection. So I got a little bit warm here, and what I'm adding to this is reward. So again, I want him to be curious about the skateboard, but not aggressive, and curious in the form of realizing that it means good things. So he's been caressed, he's gotten exercise, and now there's food, there's a treat associated with it. It's just jelly out of a jar that is smeared on the deck of the skateboard to try to get him to eat it off of there and associate it, again, just one more way to associate it with something positive. And that's pretty much it. So is he cured? Only time will tell. We need to see him out in the environment with other bikes and skateboards and stuff like that and see how he does. But this session went really well.